Welcome to yet another weekend installment of Tag Me In, where the triple threat brain trusts to tag over the good, the bad, and everything in between in the world of professional wrestling. I, of course, am the unofficially official Lip Dizzle, joined with none other than the heartthrob of the IWC. Mr. Jaeger, bombastic, so fantastic that if he was one hell of a shot of liquor, you wouldn't need a chaser to chase it back to back to back to back because he goes down so smooth. Ladies, Jaeger bombastic.
I mean, it's just proper foreplay, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
And of course, I know you don't see him, but Scoot's been on something lately. He's been going through his alternate personalities here and there. You've probably seen him on your social medias. You've probably seen him with the ninjas, and you've seen that he's been painting his face. So I don't know what inner self is going to come out today, but he is going to be here. That's for damn sure. So just don't. This is me forewarning you to expect the unexpected when it comes to Scoot. So whenever he pops up, I'm telling you, honestly, I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. So you've been warned. But the less than stealthy unicorn himself, Mr. ScooterRay, got to give the intro. Not sure what AKA he's going to have today, but again, you'll know it when you see it. But
yeah,
Rampage, Dynamite, all wrapped up into one weekend, and I have to say that there is, for the most part, I'm not going to say that everything was like completely 100% at its best. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were some things that I didn't like, but for the most part, I don't have anything to truly complain about on a large spectrum in terms of Rampage and Dynamite, because I like both shows. Now, of course, this was all encompassing with the whole SmackDown going their extra 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it at all. I've seen I've heard some of the recaps, and I've seen what people have been saying about it. I heard the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch match was really good. That was the match that they actually put on during that 30-minute portion, the extra 30-minute portion of SmackDown, and then they ended it with a Reigns and Brock Lesnar segment. But I know they had the I guess it was a tag team street fight between Street Profits and Usos, and I heard that was really good. But I heard the rest of the show was pretty much a regular SmackDown. So
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not hyped up on the whole King of the Ring and Queen's Crown deal because I feel like they just messed that up. I am waiting for this. They're doing two tournaments now: the World Title Eliminator tournament, and of course the TBS title tournament with the women. And we'll jump into it some more, but I do like how it's shaping up and the potential of things that's going to happen with the women. Now, in terms of the World Championship title eliminator, the participants in this kind of surprised me a little bit because now we're finally getting some shine for those that are in the ranking system. Because I don't know if they did it the last time with the last title eliminator tournament, because I also forgot who won the last one too. Well, let me see. because we have, as far as the rankings. Okay, yeah. So as of right, oh no, this actually is different. So we have Paige obviously at number 1. So we have Cassidy, Mox, Lance Archer, and Miro. Now the crazy thing about this is that Miro is not in the tournament at all.
Yeah, that took me by surprise.
Yet we do have Archer.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mox. We have Cassidy. So those are 3 of the 5 because, of course, Hangman is the number 1 contender. We have Hobbs, who used to be in the top 5, and we have Dark Order's 10, Dustin Rhodes, which is surprising, Bryan Danielson, and Eddie Kingston.
I think it's going to be. Or wait, are we revealing the?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, fuck it.
All right. So we got Danielson versus Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
We got, if memory serves right, Archer and Kingston.
Yeah,
and then the other side. Go ahead.
No, I'll bring it up.
Oh, okay, cool.
So far, yeah, this is pretty much what it's shaping out to be.
I got 10 and Mox. That's gonna be a good match, I feel.
I believe so. I do believe so.
Now Cass and Hobbs, that's typical big man, little man, but I definitely see OC taking that.
I don't know.
They could have Hobbs do it, and then Moxley will have a bigger challenge.
Oh, you know what? I think you might be right, because I just thought about, based on what happened on Dynamite with Yuta, and the way Cassidy was looking at Mox. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's funny how that kind of sets up. So
true.
Now it would be nice to see Hobbs and Mox, because they seem to be close knit before the whole Team Taz deal. But yeah, because I don't think they've had any interactions other than that. But yeah, I do follow that sentiment with it being Mox and Cassidy. Danielson is a no-brainer. I definitely don't see Dustin going over. At the same time, I'm still surprised that he's actually in this. But
I think that just might be for the whole dream match thing. I think people wanted to see that, since it's like a legend like Dustin.
I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a good match. I'm just surprised that he's one slotted in there. I know Kingston's not going over on Archer. I don't see that at all. So we'll get big man, little man in on both ends of the bracket.
True.
Which I think we might end up ending with Mox and Danielson.
I mean, big man, medium man with Kingston. You don't think that he's as big as he is up until you see him in ring. You're like, oh, all right, he's got some size on him.
No, I'm in terms of Danielson and Archer, because I think Archer's going over on Kingston for sure. But I think we take this, and I think, because I honestly don't see Bryan Danielson winning this tournament. Ironically enough, I think they're going to cater more to the actual rankings. And I think Mox is going to be the one that actually goes over, because I think with Danielson, I think he cares so much about how they actually treat the rating system that he's not just going to want to catapult himself past it, because I think this is what's going to set him up for that that match with Omega, that pseudo Iron Man match they're probably going to have.
So how do you figure?
Because
like when Danielson loses in the final.
And then we get we get a match between Hangman and Mox, which will be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Mox doesn't lose anything by losing to Hangman, so it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't hurt either one of them. Well, it hurts Hangman to lose, but Mox doesn't lose anything by losing to Hangman. And I think that'll be a good first challenger. Danielson finally gets a loss on his record, and then he goes on to take on the previous champ, well, another previous champ in Omega, and they build up for that because I think during that whole time you're going to end up because Kenny's losing, plain and simple. So,
you think so?
Oh, against Hangman, absolutely.
Oh, against Hangman, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were talking about Danielson.
Oh no, I don't know how that match is going to go because there's not going to be anything at stake as far as the title. And with that out the way, I feel that this allows them to do everything they need to in this match, and it still leaves it to be unpredictable. So all they're worried about is giving a fantastic fucking match, regardless of who the fucking winner is going to be. I'm not. Well, no. I know where Mox goes after this because him, Kingston, and Darby. That's going to be a trios team. That's either going to be the inaugural trios champions, or they're just going to be heavily featured in that scene.
Wait, who?
Kingston, Darby, and Mox.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, like, who would they go up against? Super quick.
Oh yeah. That I think I'm pretty sure they're going to have a tournament for those titles, and I think that's going to be your finals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I'd be down with it.
That might be the inaugural champs because I think what's going to happen is, but at the same time, because Super Click is it's almost obvious that they would be the ones that would win that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see when if the tournament actually happens and we get a bracket, it'll be easier to actually kind of tell like who's going to go over. But as far as the women though, for the TBS title, yeah, that's a whole nother ballgame. I am so anticipating how this shit's going to go, especially with the way that they're starting to build up all the women up until that point. And I know, and I believe it was who had I forgot who it was that had a problem. Oh no, thinking about Destination Pro Wrestling. Ango. He's the one that had an issue because he and his concerns are valid mainly because well, ain't this something?
No.
Yeah, we were just talking about Darby Allin.
We were.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think he mentioned it before, and maybe I forgot. But Scoot, ladies and gentlemen, or Armed Anderson, or Scoot Allen.
Yes. How's everybody doing today?
Damn, that looks good, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I even got the group on the hand.
This guy.
You know,
hey.
you know, I even got the shows, a few of the shows on the you know, gotta represent to the fullest, you know.
Got
let
to.
people out there know. Advertisement.
So is this you stating that you're that a part of you was dead?
Well, you know, I had to do the right side because my left side of my face is doing some weird stuff. So,
The left side is doing some weird stuff.
The left side is doing some weird stuff, so I had to do the right side. You know.
Fair enough. I'm not mad at it. I actually appreciate it. Almost kind of jealous. But it's okay. Yeah. I'm not about to sit here and paint my face.
You know, once again, you know, thanks to Ashley, you know, saying the missus hooks it all up for me, you know.
Shout out to Ash.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But we just got off the topic, Scoop. But
what up?
I'll bring it up again and get your thoughts on this.
You know, honestly, to be perfectly honest with y'all, I was a little disappointed.
Why?
I really thought it was going to be so. 10, Rhodes, and maybe Archer and Kingston really shouldn't be in this tournament.
Ooh.
Only because I'm saying this because some of these matches, you know who's going to win.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's literally what we ran down too.
And because we know Moxley is going to beat 10.
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy might beat Hobbs. Danielson is going to beat Rhodes. Kingston and Archer is the only one I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be Archer in my book.
But I feel like it's going to be Moxley versus Danielson for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mad at that. It's the fact that y'all made it too apparently clear.
Yeah.
So no slight to the people that are truly in this tournament. It's just that looking at some of these matchups, you know what the outcome is going to be. And that's not fair to some of these superstars.
Now, before I ask you the next question, I will say this though. Their way to keep this entertaining and to kind of overshadow the predictability is if they build each of these matches in the best way.
Yes.
Like they make it feel like it means something to everybody rather than it just being a match. Okay, next bracket, and then another match, next bracket. Like at least make it feel like it's something beneficial for everybody rather than just them playing a role to be like, okay, well, there you go. But let's say that Mox and Danielson are in the finals.
Uh-huh.
Who do you pick going in to take the whole thing?
Assuming Hangman wins the belt, Mox would be a good first opponent, but then Danielson will be good too. But the problem is, are they going to give Danielson his true first L with Hangman?
I didn't think that far.
Yeah, because Danielson only just has that time limit draw against him. So I think Danielson will win, and to legitify Hangman's title run, he will give Danielson his first loss.
Interesting.
Very
interesting. See, I have Mox giving Danielson his first loss.
Okay.
Damn.
But that's only because I just don't see Danielson going up against Hangman because and nothing against Hangman, nothing at all against Hangman. I just feel that him going up against Danielson is like an automatic L for him, and I don't think they're gonna book Hangman to beat Omega and Danielson back to back.
They could just to give Hangman that legitimacy that Hangman is the real deal. So they could.
But I think the story writes itself if you have both of these guys going into a match with each other, both coming off of a loss. My
bad. Because the thing is, the only reason why I won't say Mox, because Mox wants his revenge really against Kenny. Though he does want the belt back, Kenny is who caused him that wrong. So that's the reason why I don't see Mox. Danielson, like I said, is just kind of like I look at Danielson the way Ruby Soho went against Baker.
Okay.
To give Baker that legitimacy as champ. So the same thing with Hangman. It's like, okay, you took down Omega. Now at our winter special, you take down the American Dragon. So, you legit now. Like Hangman is legit. He is worthy and deserving of being the champ, type of situation. I mean, the same can go for Moxley too. Don't get me wrong. The same thing can go for Moxley with Moxley being a former champion, but it's more gravitas to it because he will be getting Danielson his first loss.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'm assuming that your course, your path for Mox would be if he loses to Danielson, he starts his feud back up with Kenny.
Yeah, I can see that.
Huh. That's funny. We had different winners, but the same outcome.
So I can see that.
But yeah, that's we'll get into the TBS tournament when we talk about the women. But yeah, I'm still interested. It's very predictable.
That's still a January away.
Yeah, that is. But
and I had an interesting thought with that TBS title. I wanted the TBS title created because their partnership with NWA is done. Because I just thought about it last night watching Dynamite. I was like, I wonder is the partnership with NWA done, and that's why they want to have a legit secondary women's title.
Their partnership is done.
I mean,
why was Serena Deeb on?
No, well, she's AEW.
Yeah, she's technically with AEW.
Indeed.
So.
Indeed.
Hold on, let me just double check because I already had the shit up anyway. So, yeah, yep, she's on AEW roster.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that they had an expiration date on their partnership.
Yeah, only reason why I said because they haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
Women's champion since the match with Camille. They haven't mentioned anything about NWA, so that's why I was wondering. Is the partnership done for now?
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had with everything that's going on, especially come on, they got Camille over there, and who wouldn't want to see Camille and Jade Cargill?
That would be fun.
I mean, just little hopes there, but I think most of the hype in the Forbidden Door being open in terms of like the women is what they're going to be doing, what they could potentially be doing with Impact.
Yes.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're not hearing about AEW having women's tag team titles. Because what I think they might end up doing is basically utilizing the Impact women's tag team titles the same way that they have done with the men's and defending them with AEW stars. So that could also help. But, it's all speculation. We'll have to wait and see to what comes to fruition. But before we get into both Rampage and Dynamite, Scoot, we got any scoops?
Man, how do y'all feel about hold on one second. AEW and WWE taking all these shots with each other.
Oh, that was a long time coming.
Because Tony Khan was taking shots about SmackDown running over. Top Dollar, they think, took shots at the Young Bucks. Caster had some raps aimed towards NXT and Top Dollar. So it seems like they just firing shots at each other. So is this what we really need in the wrestling business right now?
I just definitely feel like that was inevitable.
I agree. I mean, also, Roman Reigns was taking shots against CM Punk and their roster too. I forgot about that. So is this, as WWE likes to say, best for business that they're sending shots each other's way?
I mean, that's a double-edged sword, because especially when you think in terms of like the whole mob mentality, and you think about that, the hive mind behind both sides, especially when you rally for one side and you have both sides going at each other, it's going to clearly cause a divide.
Yes.
And you'll have people who watch both, of course. But at the end of the day, somebody's always going to lean towards one side.
Yes.
And so with this, the double-edged sword portion, as far as like when you're talking about it hurting, could be detrimental to both, not just one side. Because if you see them bickering, it doesn't necessarily help to see them going back and forth. Like if the fans are doing it, that's just it's par for the course. You know, you do that when you have sides on you know, regardless of what happens. But when you see them doing it, that makes it real. Because if the fans are just doing it, then you can actually just say, you know, well, everybody has a side they like. But when you see them actively doing it, then it's like, oh, okay, well now it's real. Because again, WCW, WWF at the time did the same thing where you would see them send shots back and forth.
Mm.
Now, on the good side, though, which is really good, is that it helps make each show better. But only when they're not booking things in retaliation or in a response to something that the other company did. If they're just doing it to say, you know what, hey, we just want to make the better show. All right, let's pull out all stops to make sure that we deliver what the fans want, rather than, oh shit, they did this over here. Okay, now we have to do this. Or they did this over here. Okay, now we got to do this. Because that's the problem WWE has right now.
Since you said that, did y'all happen to catch SmackDown this past Friday and what they did with the extra 30 minutes tacked on?
No, I got some of the recap, so I know what happened as far as in that 30 minutes, what happened on the majority of the show, but I did hear that outside of the Usos Profits tag match,
I'm sorry,
Sasha and Becky match, and the ending
30 minutes. The extra 30 minutes that SmackDown went overtime with to bleed into Rampage. Because kind of like what you said in that retaliation, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks put on a hell of a match. They really did put on a hell of a match on SmackDown was actually pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the Becky Lynch and Sasha match, then they did the contract signing between Roman and Brock, and that's when Brock had dropped the bombshell on Roman to end the show, because Brock just willingly signed the contract, and Roman was like, "You big dumbass, you dumbass former, you gonna just sign the contract not knowing what it say? Like, how dumb are you?" And then Brock was like, "I read over the contract this morning with my advisor, Paul Heyman," and he just left. And it just left Roman just kind of staring at Paul like, "Oh, you bitch. How dare you betray me?" You know, so, but like I said, it was cool for them to have that extra 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you could definitely tell it was since we're going to be on Fox Sport 1 and we could do extra shit like that, let's just do it. It wasn't necessarily needed, but I see why they did it. But yeah, the competition between both, and like you said, with that retaliation thing, there should have been no reason Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki should have been a YouTube match.
No reason at all.
That was a crime. Like I watched it today, this morning. That was a crime that was a YouTube match. I would have paid for that in retrospect.
Yeah.
That was a crime that was a YouTube match, because once again, they were retaliating against each other, but Danielson and Suzuki should not have been a YouTube match. That should have either been on somebody's TV or somebody's pay-per-view.
Now, I understand all of that wholeheartedly. And this is, and now again, this is not me rallying for AEW in any way, shape, or form. But I understand what they're doing, and I like it for this reason only. And that's for the fact that it's almost like doing things in reverse, or doing the opposite of what WWE is doing. Because you see WWE pulling on all stops to put stuff on shows to compete. And it's more or less a genuine praise to AEW's roster from Tony Khan, saying that I have these two guys going on free internet TV. Damn, how many views we get on it, because I
Which when
believe
I watched
everybody
it
on
this
our roster
morning,
can do that.
Which when I watched it this morning, it was at 786,000.
Okay.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was at almost 800,000 views for that whole hour, for that whole buy-in rather. But so ultimately, do y'all think this will help make WWE better?
I want to say yes, but I can only say I hope, because you hear so much in terms of like, oh, we don't see them as competition, we don't see them as competition, and I think they're going to be so stuck up on in their pride and their ego to the point to where it's like they're going to want to keep pushing that narrative that, oh, we don't see them as competition, to their detriment, because what they'll do is they'll do the bare minimum to get the same ratings and kind of boost some kind of viewership, but never do anything to actually make anything better for the future. Because I think they're so focused on the now and booking in retaliation, of course, rather than doing what AEW is doing. And I'm not saying AEW is not going to ever do things in response or retaliation, because clearly that's what the buy-in was for. But at the same time, AEW, in retrospect, has not lost sight in what their goal is, because they're still doing storytelling. They're still moving forward with what their agenda is and has been for the longest. So, yeah, because they could easily say, hey, Punk, come put on this 10-minute match. Hey, Danielson, you want to wrestle 3 matches tonight? Hey, Ruby, we got you in here. Come on, Hangman, I know you got an interview, but hey, come wrestle this match. They could easily do that, but they haven't lost sight. So, and I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, I hope that WWE does better, but at the end of the day, it's hard to say that they will.
Okay, makes sense.
Fair.
So Bleacher Report, they put out their top 10 list of people they think who could be breakout stars next year.
Just across the board, or for specific?
Across the board. Mainly it was AEW and WWE, but
obviously
they put Brian Pillman Jr., Layla Hirsch, Tegan Knox,
hopefully,
Hit Row,
hopefully,
Lee Moriarty.
Okay,
that's definitely,
Lee Moriarty. Gabe Stevenson. Daniel
I don't
Garcia,
know.
Huh?
Yes. So I don't know about Gabe Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson. Stevenson, yeah.
Daniel Garcia. Austin Theory.
Yes.
Dante Martin.
Oh, I was waiting for that one. I was definitely waiting for Dante Martin.
And Keith Bearcat Lee.
I could easily say yes to that, but the problem is I can't. See, I can say Austin Theory all day, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But because of what they've done with Keith Lee so far, it's hard to see them rebound. See, at least with Austin Theory, he's just coming in. So they're already establishing him in the best way that they can right now. Keith Lee, he's got an uphill battle the same way that Karrion Kross is an uphill battle. And the same reason why I didn't say yes to Tegan Knox, because everybody knows I'm a Tegan Knox fan all day, every day. But for the simple fact that they've just completely screwed this up with her and Shotzi and the whole tag team situation, and not put either one of them in this Queen's Crown tournament, it's like, I don't know. And Hit Row, that's a huge question mark right now.
It is.
I'm worried about Hit Row.
Same.
Is. Hit Row is definitely gonna, out of that list, they worry me the most because they were really over in NXT.
Right.
And they let them be them. And I feel like they're gonna micromanage them so much to where it's not gonna seem genuine. Like it's gonna seem a little like they trying too hard. It's gonna seem try hardish.
Yeah,
so
very.
out of that list, I am definitely concerned with Hit Row. Now, I'm gonna ask both of y'all this. Jaeger, I know he's been on Elevation and Dark a lot.
Yeah.
Does Darius slow down Dante when Darius comes back?
I'm not sure if Darius even comes back with this recent Dynamite.
Really, you don't think so?
I mean, I'm looking at what's going on with Mr. LBO
Leo?
and Dante. Yeah, Mr. Leo Rush there and Dante, and I'm just wondering, okay, so where does this put Darius to begin with? Because it sounds like they're just maybe phasing him out, which I
It
hope
does
is
kind of
not the
seem like
case.
that.
Especially when Leo said his new tag team partner. Like, bruh, he already has one.
Right?
That's pretty
Darius must
damn
be
rude.
hurtful.
Like, this could be all. This could just all be the play for now until Darius does get healthy, and then he comes back and he makes them a trio.
Possibly.
But by the time that does happen, yeah, he very well could slow down Dante, like unintentionally, but regardless, still hurt.
What you think, Dizzle?
I do like the idea of the
Hey,
trios
question.
because I think, and this is all hypothetical because who knows what's going to happen. And I've talked about this before, especially with the possibility of Darius being kind of overshadowed by Dante. You know, same way that Christian was overshadowed by Edge, same way that Matt was overshadowed by Jeff. This is a situation where it could go wrong, but I don't think it will because I think they understand. I mean, the fucking rise in stardom, thanks, from Dante Martin. I think this actually ends up helping them because before, ironically enough, Dante was overshadowed by Darius when Top
Yes.
Flight debuted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Darius was the one that could talk, and Dante really couldn't talk.
I mean,
So
still really can't now, to be honest.
yeah, but he's still done better. He's gotten more confident, and I think that's thanks to the ovation that he's gotten from his in ring. So I think in this sense, he has more percentage of this with Leo and Dante actually helping him on his return rather than hurting him, because I think if you pair Top Flight, both Darius and Dante, with Leo Rush and do a trios thing, you don't automatically catapult Top Flight into the tag team division and have them vie for the tag team titles. If you keep them as a trio just for a brief moment to help Darius kind of get back into the swing of things, because I think that's what's going to help him. I think Leo and Dante are going to work as a smokescreen while Dante gets back into the rigmarole. For that way, when he's ready, then they can start focusing on the actual tag team stuff, and then Leo can start working on more of a singles situation, because it's looking like with the TNT title situation, it's looking like that's going to be more for the workhorses. You're going to see a lot more of the smaller guys going for the TNT title, and that's thanks to Sammy Guevara. So
True.
I think that's what we see. I don't know if I'm right in that, but it makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering because it's like seeing the attention Dante is getting is very reminiscent of Jeff Hardy. And when Jeff took off, it was kind of looking like, but what about Matt though? And then when Matt came back, it was like, we kind of want Jeff. We know you're here. We kind of want Jeff. And this normally doesn't really happen with tag teams a lot. unless they split them up like that, because that's when eventually they did the whole Matt and Jeff fighting each other and all that other stuff. But yeah, so I was wondering, is Darius could potentially slow down Dante when Darius inevitably returns?
Yeah, I don't think so. No, that was a very long-winded way for me to say no. I don't think he does.
But all right, so the last story. So it kind of seems like there's a smear campaign happening against the one Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt. Now it's starting to come out that he was difficult to work with, he was out of shape, he was this, that, and the third. And somebody point out is coincidentally that all this is coming out right when his non-complete is about to
expire. Yeah.
And then some of the comments, if y'all follow Authors of Wrestling, and I 100% agree with what AEW said, I would be difficult too if everything I've done, y'all shat on it in some way. I've gave y'all ideas after ideas. In some way, y'all fucked up my visions. I would be a little difficult too.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real. I would be difficult too.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if there's anybody that does believe this, it is a very small minority of people, because the proof has been completely broadcast very wide, I might add, because the fans spoke in terms of Bray Wyatt. Even when he was meant to be a heel in terms of the Wyatt family, you had the whole Firefly thing. Anytime Bray Wyatt was put in something that was less than favorable in terms of the fans, the fans let them know. And anytime things were working right with Bray Wyatt, the fans let them know. Yep. You think about the situation where he should have went over on Cena, and he didn't. You think about the whole rumor about him being the one that ended the streak with the Undertaker. That didn't happen. It would have benefited him. Nobody would have shaken a stick. I think anybody watching that would have just been like, "Oh, this is the guy here," and it would have made sense. You go into the whole Fiend situation, and you think about the Hell in a Cell with Rollins. I mean, that alone was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yep. And if you have Seth Rollins going on the Broken Skull podcast and saying, "Yo, I was pissed off at that," it clearly has a lot to do with the booking.
Yes.
And then you think about the stuff with Bray creating characters and them just doing what they want with it, and him being very if I spent time creating something and I felt solely responsible for the rise and or fall of something, I'm going to make sure I keep it close to the vest.
I think it was Mojo.
Raleigh?
Somebody had said WWE fucked the Fiend over when he lost to Goldberg. Ever since Fiend had lost to Goldberg, then it was like hard for the character to recover. I want to say it was Mojo. It was somebody that was released. I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Oh, I
can see that.
I don't think it was Mojo, but I know I remember hearing that.
Yeah, it was somebody.
No, it was EC3.
EC3, thank you.
EC3 said he his love of professional wrestling ended.
Yes, that's what
when they did that. Yeah.
Like
there was no reason for the Fiend to have lost to Goldberg.
So yeah, I would be difficult. I would be slightly difficult too. That I've given y'all gold since I've been in this company, and y'all are squandering it. It's not me. Y'all are doing it. I'm doing everything in my power to make things better, and then you slowly take my shit and give it to somebody else, and you want me to be A-okay and happy about it. Fuck y'all. So yeah, I don't blame them. I would be slightly difficult too.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny how you'll always hear WWE say somebody did this and this, but it's always one sided. It's never okay. Well, we could have done better on this, and it's like no, this person was at fault for XYZ. Yet you always hear, because I think Chelsea Green went on an interview and she even stated that she would go every day to give ideas for this and this and this and this and this, and she would have to go through multiple channels to get to Vince to say something. They would be like, "Y'all, okay, yeah, we'll go over it." But it was always that. And she said she can tell that people got annoyed with her for it. But it's like, what else do you do? It's like you either show ambition about something or you just kind of sit in catering.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't believe. I mean, I believe he was difficult, but I think it was justified in him being difficult because of what has happened. And I mean, hell, you can look at it now. They're basically profiting off of what he created via Bliss. So yeah, and they're running that shit into the ground as fast as it rose. So
yep. Also, if y'all didn't see, Buddy Matthews will be debuting in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Beautiful.
I think that's virtually about everything I've had. So we can go right into the weekend.
All right.
Unless one of y'all got something.
No. Bobby Fish and Bryan Danielson. 2 nights in a row.
Yep.
And I'm going to wait on a lot of the praise that I have for both of these two when we get into the main event of Dynamite. But I got to say, I mean, granted, I know that I praise them for putting on shit for quote unquote free TV or free internet in terms of the buy-in. But man, do I wish that shit was on Rampage.
Same.
I feel bad with Rampage because I didn't get a chance to see the CM Punk and Matt Sydal match because I was watching SmackDown. Don't beat me up out there. I'm sorry. I was watching SmackDown. Like I said, Becky and Sasha was putting on a great fucking match. But I didn't get a chance to see the Punk and Sydal, but I did get to see the rest of the show. Since Mr. Deasley dipped out on us. How was the Sydal match?
Yo, it went longer than I expected it to, but I think that was just out of both wrestlers' respect for each other.
Yeah.
Punk and Sydal both, they really led the charge on it.
Okay.
Plenty of high flying moves from Sydal. Punk really made it look like he was maybe on the ropes there for a second. Like it almost looked about as close as you would have thought it was with Darby and him.
Yeah.
I think it was also to the same benefit that they were, competing with SmackDown a little bit at that time. So maybe that was their inspiration for it. But they put on a hell.
Match commercial free.
That was actually. So they put on like a good, I think it was 15-minute match, 15 maybe 20. This is it had to be an answer, honestly. Now that I keep thinking about it had to be an answer for SmackDown doing their thing.
Oh yeah, it had to be. It's
because of SmackDown.
There you go.
Like I said, I was trying to flip back and forth, but then when I realized that Bex and Sasha was really going at it, I was like, I'm gonna have to double back and watch this Punk and Sydal match. But
I wouldn't be mad at anybody for not watching during that point in time because it's hard to deny Sasha.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when they're allowing her to. I mean, you give her a 30-minute time. Well, we'll say 20 to 30-minute time slot.
A good 20-minute match because I think the last 10 minutes was them hurrying up to do the contract signing. So it was about a good 20.
Yeah. So yeah, and Yeah, Sasha Banks match. I mean,
And
come
not
on.
only that, Sasha actually pinned Becky. And that was the first time Becky suffered a pinfall loss, I think, in like a year and a half. So yeah, Sasha actually got the 3 on. I mean, it was some interference, but Sasha got the 3 over Big Time Bex, as she's been known lately.
Oh, she's not the man anymore.
They still call her the man, but it's Big Time Bex is like her moniker.
New moniker.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I saw a couple of highlights of the Punk and Seidel match, but in my head I was like, it's no way Seidel is going to be Punk. So yeah.
Which is fair.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it definitely is fair. And it's something and it's a going trend that I like that AEW is kind of revitalizing, something that WWF did at the time. When they weren't doing rematch after rematch after rematch. There was a point in time where you had a lot of intermingling as far as like when you just had a match, just a regular exhibition match, where you would have a lot of the top guys wrestle some of the newer guys, some of the mid card guys, just to have a fucking match. And that's been happening a lot lately on AEW. I mean, I mean on Prime TV, not in terms of like Dark or Elevation.
I mean, since you brought that up, that's the thing I like. Everybody doesn't have to have a storyline attached to it.
Yeah,
just let them go out there and fight and see who wins.
And I think that's the reason why, one, a lot of fans gravitate to it, and then two, why you see a lot of unexpected stars rising in AEW. I mean, think about Dante Martin. When Top Flight first were introduced, I mean, you never looked at him and like, you know what, hey, that's going to be top guy coming in. And now, of course, his brother getting hurt was a blessing in disguise because he was able to showcase himself even more, through gaining experience, trial by fire. And now he's in a prominent spot where it's like, even if you don't expect him to win, you're still excited to see him in a fucking match. And the same thing with Daniel Garcia. He may be a heel, but because of how good he is technically in the ring, you want to see him wrestle whoever.
Yes.
And it's not just about who's on the marquee or who they're pushing. Half the time, even if the elite weren't on the show, it would still be a great fucking show. And that goes for anybody, whether it be Pinnacle, Inner Circle, et cetera, et cetera. They focus so much on their talent and their roster as a whole rather than just certain individuals because it's for the greater good of the show overall, not just certain individuals. Damn whoever gets bigger than the show itself.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I like that. And that's also a nod to the main event because I have a lot of shit to say about the way they handle Bobby Fish.
Oh, you didn't like him?
No. I love it. That's the thing. I fucking love it.
And then Ruby Soho and the Bunny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This wasn't a bad match. But once again, it's that notion of I know who's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the after with, Penelope coming out and they hitting her with the nuts and everything. And it was like, damn.
Yeah.
But what do you expect?
But that's another good thing that they're doing in terms of these feuds. They're taking these nothing situations where you would have Bunny and Ruby Soho and you'd be like, oh yeah, Bunny's gonna lose, Ruby Soho's gonna go, she's the bigger star in this, and they're using it to make the lesser stars seem like they're bigger than what you would view them as initially. And I like that because they're being consistent with their booking in terms of, okay, we showcased them before when Penelope came and helped the Bunny against Ty Conti, and then the whole situation with Ty Conti and and a J. So
Mm.
now we're going to move forward with this thing and now make them feel like they're a threat in terms of Ruby. So, and of course, I think this is going to be more so in line with building up, women's tag teams. And it's more of a slow burn because we don't know if that's in the future, or we don't know if they're going to use the Impact Women's titles. But at the same time, it's something that's kept on the back burner. It's like, you know what, we'll run with this for a little bit, and then we'll keep this over here for now. And then we'll see if we can do something later. But as of right now, this gives Ruby Soho something to do. So,
yes.
Oh, absolutely. Fan-fucking-tastic.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Junior Dos Santos and the Man of the Year versus 3/5 of the Inner Circle. What is everybody's thoughts?
I don't
Be
know
honest.
what to think.
Be honest.
I mean, it wasn't great.
So I'm going to say this, and I don't want to disrespect anyone involved in this feud because, especially on the American Top Team ass, because they can kick my ass. So, I don't understand what's the goal of American Top Team and Men of the Year.
Yes.
1, 2, I can understand challenging the Inner Circle, but at the same time, so it's a little confusing to me. The match wasn't bad.
Would you have the only other faction I can see American Top Team going up against that has this many players involved would have been the Hardy Family Office.
Well, the thing is, personally speaking, from the way Dan Lambert talks,
I know.
I agree with Loki on this one.
The way Dan Lambert talks, it should be more of us against AEW, not us against people here and there. And that's the one thing that's been confusing me when American Top Team jumps on Inner Circle or jumps on whoever. He's offending the whole AEW roster. Why isn't more people? Why is it not Team AEW led by the Inner Circle rather than Inner Circle? Like, he's not. I mean, yes, they started firing shots directly just at Inner Circle, but before, Lambert was going at the whole roster.
Yes.
So, but in the end, what's the goal here? I mean, I understand you want Men of the Year to have titles, but what's the overall goal of American Top Team invading AEW?
This is where I throw a little bit of slack at AEW. This is where my bias gets thrown out the window because, again, we look at things objectively and we tell it like it is. And this is how I feel about this. I don't think there really is a full agenda as far as an end game for Men of the Year. I think what this is, and you can tell by the certain dialogue that that Dan Lambert has, is that this is all a lot of Jim Cornette talking points when you hear these promos. And the only real way to get it on TV to kind of poke fun at it is if you get somebody who's not inherently connected to AEW like that. So you find an outsider who they can utilize as a catalyst to feed those lines. Now, again, speculation all day. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But the way I see it, the way his promos come off, because they really don't have any direction, and I hear the same talking points from Jim Cornette, it's like, this is what Jim Cornette would say. So they're using him to be as a heel to be like, okay, well, let's have him say this shit. We'll poke fun at this. And ironically enough, because we already know that Tony Khan has gone on to say nice things about Jim Cornette because Cornette praised the CM Punk thing from that Rampage. And this was before that happened. So with this, I think it would have been more so effective if you had Dan Lambert come in and start talking about Tony Khan being a con man and conning people that didn't get a chance that looked like they had a promising future, i.e. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and basically got the shit into the stick. And then you found some other guys who had that same ideal. Like you could take some people that's on Elevation or Dark and just been mainstays on there and haven't really been brought to Dynamite or Rampage, and you could have brought up some stars that kind of felt slighted, i.e. the same way that the Factory felt slighted by the Nightmare family. So if you would have done that instead of bringing in MMA fighters, you would have had a heater in Dan Lambert, and then you would have had justifiable heels who had a cause to think they were right. And then you could have had Inner Circle being at the top of their game and putting over these guys in match. Not to say that they had to lose to them, but to put them over in matches to where they were being showcased on mainstream television and help put somebody up, because this does nothing for American Top Team. They're going to be perfectly fine. Nobody's going to think anything of them. But what this does do is that this brings Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky down a few notches by association, because right now Dan Lambert and American Top Team pretty much have go away heat. Nobody's looking to see them on TV. I know I'm not, and I like these guys. So imagine how people feel that really don't have any interest in MMA. They could care fucking less. But at the same time, I think what's going on, because I know Dan Lambert is a professional wrestling fan, and you have a lot of MMA guys who are professional wrestling fans. So I think this is like a way to kind of live out their professional wrestling dream without having to be signed.
And not only that, but I had a weird thought thinking about the whole Lambert thing, because it's like, look how many people who have crossed over. You had the whole 4 Horsewomen. Yeah. You had technically Minoru Suzuki, because they did mention his MMA career. You had Shinsuke Nakamura. Brock Lesnar did it. Batista had a match. Alberto Del Rio, he trashed, but Alberto Del Rio. I think Thunder Rosa had a few MMA matches. Jack Gallagher before his issues. Matt Riddle. Who else? Dan Severn back in the day. Ken Shamrock. So Bobby Lashley, Hager. So you've had a lot of MMA professional wrestling crossover. So and you could even tell that those guys was having fun doing it with American Top Team. You could tell that they have, they having them a nice little time doing it. But it's just, I don't know. I guess because we just seen the Inner Circle come off the whole Pinnacle feud, and now they jump right back into another feud, and then the confusion with me in this Inner Circle situation, right? After the match is over with, why in the fuck did it take Santana and Ortiz to come out there? They took a long time to come out, but Ashley has said, they were still getting their face paint.
They were doing the face paint, yeah.
And that's probably what happened, But other than that, I hope this. I have a real strange feeling. I don't know if this is going to culminate at Full Gear, or it might end up being like Sky or Paige versus Sammy at Full Gear. But
yeah, this now, of course, I mean, as far as that, we'll get into that when we talk. Well, you know what? No, fuck it. Might as well get that segment out the way.
Might as well.
Yeah, because of course they said they have stipulations that they want to put in place, and I know it's probably regarding the TNT Championship. So what they might end up doing is having Sammy have a match with both of them. They're either going to do a handicap match where whoever pins them gets the title, or they're going to do something where it's like, okay, you got to face them back to back. Some bullshit, I'm sure. But I think, in my personal opinion, they could have gone about this a completely different way.
Yes.
Because I don't know what they're going to do with Men of the Year. I don't know if they're supposed to be a tag team or they're just supposed to be a duo. But figure it out and have them go the way they need to go,
It
because
seems like they're trying to make them have both, that they could be a tag team or a duo. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Like they're trying to get them to be both,
yeah.
but it's just kind of weird.
Well, I need them to get away from this Dan Lambert situation, because if this is their way to get Jorge Masvidal signed to AEW and become a professional wrestler, they need to speed this shit up, get it over and done with. But to be perfectly honest, because I mean, I've heard the rumors, I've seen that that could be one of the things that happens. I don't know what Masvidal's contract is like with the UFC right now.
Yeah.
Or I mean, he could potentially do both. I mean, Lashley did it, so Hager's doing it now.
Yeah. But all right, so that was Rampage.
But speaking of which, with that, I wish they would use different verbiage for this. Because they said Inner Circle reunites.
Yeah,
bullshit. Like they were gone. I was like, they could have easily said Inner Circle's whole again, but it's not like they broke up and then can't. Like save that shit for like 5 years down the line when like everybody's gone their separate ways and y'all want to say, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do one more match before Chris Jericho retires or whatever. But
don't make it seem like Santana and Ortiz was like away somewhere and like no, y'all just didn't book them that way.
Yeah,
y'all booked them weirdly.
But regardless, speaking of Dante Martin, they opened up with Dante Martin versus Malachi Black. And look, Malachi Black.
I still want to praise the fact that Malachi Black still has the best interest in professional wrestling today.
And that's exactly what I was about to say, because
oh my God.
It's a testament to AEW to allow them to showcase what they've always wanted to showcase, especially on a big stage like they want to do at WWE.
Yeah.
And I think it's refreshing to see what could have been in WWE.
Yes.
Because just like you said, Scoot, this entrance, just the amount of star power that it has, and not even from Malachi Black, just the way, the overall feel of it. And you can see how the fans react to it with every segment of this entrance, from when he comes on the ramp, when the lights go black and he's on top of the turnbuckle, and then they go down again and he's Indian style in the middle of the ring. It's like, how do you not like that? That's
be a hater.
Yeah, you really would. You really would. But yeah, and I love, and I don't think they need to call it a slow burn. I think they're just really just going. I think they're just reading the room with Malachi Black, because they're not trying to catapult him to a title or whatever. They're just allowing him to be him, and I think that's fucking fantastic, because at this point right now, based on how they're booking him, he seems bigger than a championship. And I know it's odd to say that because he's not really showcased like that, but I mean, he's almost Undertaker level as far as like being like the upstart gatekeeper. Because you'll see a lot of people have matches with him and you never see them really worse for wear. He doesn't really squash people. And even when he does these matches with, thinking about Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson, hell, I mean, even Cody to an extent, but I mean, Cody doesn't need it. And then of course here, Dante Martin, the way he does these matches still makes him seem like he could be beat if something spectacular happened. But at the end of the day, he never looks weak in any one of these matches. There's not one point in time in any of these matches where he walks away looking like, oh shit, I've gone down a stock, or my stock's going down a few ticks here and there. Malachi Black is a shit. Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
no question.
They are
This
doing a
match,
phenomenal job with him.
yeah, they are. And Dante Martin, this also showcased Dante Martin, like as far as to me, this match was almost like, hey, Dante Martin, you've done all these matches up to this point. Here's your assessment. Let's see what your grade is. He did fantastic.
Yeah.
You talk about somebody who's able to sell, like he sold the fuck out of that knee.
I mean, don't get it wrong too. The telling point was the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi looked at him and gave him a head nod, like, okay. So I was like, what? So yeah, damn
Dope
good
shit.
way to open the show.
Mm-hmm. And then of course we had the Leo Rush face.
Leo Rush had that look like, God damn it.
But I like that though, because it made sense for when they had the interview a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I told you. If you would have just listened to me, it would have been fine. But you know, it's okay. Because now you got your tag team partner.
And see, I knew Leo was gonna get that wrestling bug again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he really did though.
Like I knew it was gonna. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that was his first time really getting such a gnarly injury, and he just panicked.
Yeah, it's a little shell shock for a second. It's fine.
Yeah.
Par for the course. It happens. But he's still young, so he's got plenty of time to get a lot of things on his bump card. But you know, it is what it is. Of course, the Inner Circle thing happened after this. We're not really going to talk. We already talked about it. You know, they're going to be setting up a 10-man tag match now that they're all together, and that's fine and dandy. I mean, gives them something to do. But it's hard for me to watch Santana and Ortiz go from that fantastic match they had with FTR to this shit. I think they need to be focused more on the tag division right now. And I think especially with what happened later on in the night, this almost like shoots them straight across the bow to like the fucking tag titles, which let me just double check to see these rankings just to make sure, see where they are on here now that we had some new developments. And of course, yeah, they're not even in the rankings.
Really?
Yet Private Party is in the fucking.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Bucks, Jurassic Express, FTR, Private Party, and the Acclaim.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think what's going to happen is you're going to give Lucha Brothers a lot of opponents out of this bunch here. Probably Private Party to get them out the way. I don't think we see anything with FTR. We may, but I doubt it. Jurassic Express should not challenge for any tag team titles unless they're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed. I mean, I could. You know what? They're like tweeners to me right now. So I mean, they could definitely do it. So I could see them going up against Lucha Brothers and losing. They're not going to lose anything out of their stock. Now AEW may swerve us and say, "Fuck giving it to Santana and Ortiz," and they just may have the Jurassic Express take it up Lucha Brothers. So. We'll have to see, but Lucha Brothers are working as a face tag team right now anyway. So
yeah.
But speaking of Lucha Brothers, they went against the Super Runners.
Yeah,
I was not expecting. I was honestly expecting
when this match.
Go ahead, Yaga. Let us know.
Yeah, go ahead. Let us know.
Look. I was like, these guys are off the bat, these guys were way too big to be any kind of luchador. I mean, Penta
who it was the moment they came out.
Right? Like, holy shit. Like these guys were standing way too heavy, way too big to be any kind of luchadors I think I've ever seen in my life. You know, Penta is like an exception as far as that all goes. I mean, dude's big. But Jesus Christ, like, and I'm pretty. Did we see a tag rope in their corner?
I don't know.
But This was one hell of an I shouldn't say expected, but this was one hell of a swerve. But as soon as they started going for the mask, I'm like, oh, these aren't luchadors. And then it's like,
Well,
oh, this is
so
FTR. And and then it's like, I'm sorry for the spoiler there, folks, but yeah, was it Penta and Phoenix are over here just like constantly trying to take off masks, and as the commentators love to remind us throughout the match, up until it happened, like this isn't a luchador rules match. Like this doesn't end once
uh,
they take off the mask. What are they doing? And lo and behold, they take off the mask, and look who it is, fucking FTR. And
There was no tag rope.
there was no tag rope. Okay.
No tag rope.
So my question is, why wasn't this immediately a disqualification? Because these were not the people that were supposed to be advertised?
because wrestling.
Because wrestling. All right.
Honestly, yeah, I think that I can't think of any other way to defend that other than that.
I think it was either Authors of Wrestling or somebody else. It should have been Authors of Pain.
Oh,
that would have been cool.
It should have been, well, wherever the new tag team they would have had, because now it looked weird that he enlisted the services of FTR from the Pinnacle, which, spoiler, which if you didn't see it, whatever, FTR are the new AAA tag champions.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end, backstage, he paid off MJF in checks and cash for using the services of FTR. And it was like, It would have been better if it was a different tag team, because that way they could have necessarily stayed with Andrade rather than just one night only.
One time, yeah.
Yeah, and I have mixed feelings, but both on positive sides, but they're still mixed. Because I do agree with you, Scoot. I think it really should have been a different tag team to kind of just showcase, because
a different tag team.
I think it would have made more sense for the AAA titles to go on either a AAA team or a team that would have been showcased more so in AAA, and that could be showcased in AEW. And before I get into, because I do have something to say on that end, but I also at the same time do like the fact that they have heels working together in a sense.
Yeah,
because I do like that aspect. But to a lot of people who are pissed off that FTR are the AAA champions and saying that, AEW is fucking over AAA and all this other shit, because they're getting nothing out of it. There is no fucking way that AEW has full range to allow who's going to take what other promotion's title. There's no fucking way anybody would conduct business like that. Anybody who believes that is fucking retarded.
Oh,
period.
That's a bad word.
I don't care. It's fucking retarded.
That lets you know he's serious.
Think about it. As far as like the business sense behind it, like there's no way that if you have it.
Go ahead. I mean, get it out.
How do you think that even goes over? What do you think would be the end game if they say, you know what, we're just going to go on our own? Lucha Brothers, they're going to go into business for themselves. They're going to just, we're signed with AEW.
Sure there was a huge conversation between the people of AAA and AEW and be like, hey, do y'all mind if FTR gets the tag titles? Because newsflash for people who don't know, the Lucha Brothers could easily win it back on a AAA show.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think just fucking happened with the AAA title between Omega and Andrade?
Exactly. Like the Lucha Brothers could easily. Hell, the Lucha Brothers could be the champions right now for all we know. We don't know. Like, calm down, people. I'm pretty sure there was a conversation.
Yeah, just like the same conversation that was had with the Omega match. Everybody knew that Andrade was supposed to win, but they called an audible and they said, okay, we don't want Kenny losing back to back. So how about we do this? It's a fucking negotiation. So shut the fuck up.
Basically.
That makes no sense business wise. So just stop it. Just stop it. But yeah, FTR are the new AAA Tag Team Champions. Now, I think this is a good thing in terms of keeping FTR occupied for right now. Because, I mean, as much as they deserve the tag titles in AEW, I don't think it's necessary for them to have them. So with them having tag titles from a different promotion, this is actually good for AAA because the story writes itself. If you have guys like FTR who believe in just the traditional, like just mat wrestling, they can be complete fucking.
All of your, and they ground all of your luchadors. They're gonna build up heat.
Exactly, and then people are going to just want them to fucking lose those titles because they're going to feel like they're desecrating on just the lucha libre style of wrestling. You want these type of heels in your company.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. Just stop it. Anyway, this also helps the Pinnacle as well because you can have the Pinnacle on AAA as well.
Yep.
It works both ways. So look on the bright side and stop finding shit to be pissed off about. Like, to be honestly, honestly, I do. I know how it goes. You know, Dave Chappelle. But
yes.
Anyway, after that, we get a
wait 1 second. Wait 1 goddamn second. Moxley. Jonathan Moxley.
Uh-oh.
If you have been doing this the whole time in your career, I would have been 100% on your side, my guy. Where was this at any time? The way you just came out, disrespected Yuta, and dipped out, that's the type of shit I like.
That's the type of
shit right there.
That's the type of shit you see Lance Archer do on Dark and Elevation.
Like, that's that shit I want to see. That's the shit that would make me a Moxley fan 100%. Because that was straight disrespectful. You came out, hit that dude 2-3 times. You hit the Death Rider because that damn sure wasn't the Paradigm Shift. That boy, you was dead. Like, he was done. Even Orange Cassidy was looking at him like, fam, I'm about to walk out on you. Like, honestly, I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought Cassidy was about to walk out on you to, like, you got your ass beat. Like, honestly, Cassidy, like, you got knocked the fuck out. Moxley, 2 thumbs up, double chef kiss. That was amazing. That was amazing. They should have just let Wild Thing keep playing. That was amazing.
The whole time.
They should have let Wild Thing play the whole time. That was fucking amazing.
And this is why Mox not being in any title picture is completely believable. Because if Mox just wants to come in there and whoop ass, that's it.
Like, legit. I was playing a game on my tablet. Match started. I looked up a couple of times. Paradigm Shift. Damn. Okay. Damn. You know. Amazing. Thank you for that, Mox. Thank you.
This is what I'm hoping for in the title eliminator tournament. I'm hoping that
if this Mox comes out 10, you better figure it out.
Well, not only that, I'm hoping that this just like with the whole Orange Cassidy thing, I'm hoping that this builds up to like the semifinals with these two.
Yeah.
And this is brought up as far as story wise, instead of them just being like, "Oh, we'll have a match and be done with it."
Nah. But boy.
Yeah. But yeah, this match was over and done with the moment that Wild Things was done.
It was done with the moment Yuta put his name on the contract.
That is also very true.
Shit.
Big fucking yikes.
Like, did you pinch the motherfucker? Like, god damn.
I don't think Yuta got any offense.
But I loved every moment of this.
Yeah, this was another fantastic one. Short and sweet.
Yes.
Get people on the card, have everybody go home happy.
Yep.
Earn your paycheck. Mox whip ass. Yuta, get your ass beat. But from there, we get a very interesting promo and vignette from Miro.
Yo.
And I fucking loved it.
Yo. Whoever is working with Miro, or if this is 100% Miro, whatever. Thank the guys for all of this. That promo had me like, fuck him up, Miro. Let's go. That man said, you gave me a body of granite and a neck of sand.
A neck of sand.
What have I done to forsaken you? So until you make me your champion again, I'm fucking everybody up. Nobody is safe until there's a title around my waist. The roster will burn. That's the type of villainy I need in my life. That man said, I'm hurting everyone until I'm your champion again. And if not, I'm coming for you. Like, he was like, I'm coming for you.
This is why this shit was.
Go home to my wife.
And that's the other part. This is why this shit was so dope, because there's always there's that parallel to like religion.
Yeah.
And the way when people feel like, oh, I've praised this for so long and now I feel like what have I done wrong? And then the feel and see that anger, like that parallel is so fucking fantastic to like real life. And he did that to where it's like, okay, I failed here. And now I can't go back home and show my face until I'm a champion again. So it's like, I got to work my way back to my wife. And I'm like, oh, this is how we're going to get Lana.
That'd be cool.
This is how we're going to get Lana. I think what's going to happen is this motherfucker's going to go on a fucking tear. And then she's going to show up. And she's going to be that strength for him. And she may lead him to either a match for the TNT title, or she may lead him to being the one that takes out Hangman.
Yo, if Miro is the next person to become AEW champion after Hangman, sign me up. If it wasn't for the fact that I already have that placeholder spot for Hangman to be champion, I would say have Miro beat Omega. But since we have already established that kicking out of the one wing angel should belong to Hangman, Jesus, I need Miro to be world champion right now. Like, who boy? May God have mercy on the souls Miro will be collecting.
And this is why this shit is so dope, because of the fact that Miro's also another one who really doesn't need the title, but you want him to have the title because of how good of a character he's portraying. I think with this, to watch him go on a fucking tear, to just basically take out a whole bunch of nobodies and then a few somebodies and just wind up in the fucking ranking system out of nowhere, just based on all this shit that he doesn't even realize.
You know what? I wanted to be so bad to where he could potentially get a rematch for the TNT title, and he just savagely beats the dude so bad that when he don't even want the title, he just want to just hurt people now.
You know how dope that shit would be?
Like, he just beats the person so bad to where like they just might call a disqualification or some shit, and he just be like, like, fuck the title. I just want to hurt. Like, no, I don't even want the TNT title no more. I just want to hurt people.
Scoot, I think you might be touching on something that
would be an amazing swerve to where he beat the opponent so bad that they'd be like, okay, Miro, you win. But he's just like, I don't want the belt. I just want to hurt now. I just want to hurt.
Nah, what about, because I mean, granted, I do want to see that, but I think that doing that would actually kind of downgrade the title a little bit, or the champion that's holding the title.
True.
What if? Because I got this idea from listening to you, Scoot. What if he goes on such a tear that he wants to hurt people? He could challenge for a title and then get disqualified just from the match that even started, him just beating the motherfucker up. But then let's say Lana shows up and is like, "Yo, you've lost your way."
Yes,
like you lost sight.
You lost sight,
and so now he gets back on track to be like, "Oh, you're right. I need to get some gold." And instead of going for this TNT title,
he goes.
I'm going for the big prize.
Hangman, I'm coming. That would be some good shit. Book it.
Do it.
Tony, book it for Revolution. Or I don't think Hangman should lose the belt that fast, but book it for Revolution.
I mean, Revolution could work. Let's see if he wins it now. Revolution is what
usually in February.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
so
shit!
Only give him like a 2-month reign.
All in.
Book it.
Well, I mean, no. You know what? Maybe you could book Revolution because again, I already said that we're not doing these. I'm pretty sure they're not doing these long ass title reigns.
Yeah, just book it. Book that shit. That would be some gold. No pun intended.
Also,
too, I don't know when it fell into the show, but MJF. See, I knew MJF was telling the truth. He don't know who attacked Darby.
If you don't get the fuck out of here with that.
We don't know who those 5 dudes were. We don't know. No face, no case.
Oh, you mean kind of like the Super Rhinos, huh?
No face.
It's convenient how they say it wasn't Pinnacle that was wearing the mask, yet they come on to AEW Dynamite the very next week wearing masks.
Face, no
to swerve people. So, just saying, the proof is in the pudding.
It is for anybody to do an F5. Anybody could have hit somebody with a chair. There was nothing done to Darby that distinguished that was the Pinnacle that attacked Darby.
Interesting.
Hey man, you smell some bullshit here, Lip? I smell some bullshit.
It's very apparent. Very apparent.
And it's funny I'm saying this as I have Darby Allin face paint.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that shit.
Like the absolute irony in that.
But still, no face, no case. But
yeah,
I will say this: how he got the ref to come in there. Oh well, to go back, MJF was like, "Yo, I'm ready for my match. Where's Darby?" They forced a ref to come out and start making a 10 count. Then in the middle of the 10 count, Sting music hits, and I'm still thinking to myself, the ref still should be counting, regardless of things. The ref does not have to stop counting.
Man, you try to keep counting during Sting's intro.
That is true, but still, the ref should still be counting. So do we think we're going to get Sting and MJF before we get Sting and Darby?
I don't think we get Sting wrestling at all. I think he may want to. I don't think we should get Sting wrestling at the moment. And I damn sure don't think we need to get Sting and MJF. Okay. I think we probably get some masked figures trying to jump on Sting. And then by that I mean masked Pinnacle, figures.
I can see that.
So yeah, and I think this is probably gonna take Darby off of TV. If he doesn't return next week, I think he returns the week after. Because we say Full Gear is
the 12th.
The 12th. Okay, yeah, so that's perfect. So
a month away.
Yeah. So that's perfect. So we get Darby gone for maybe like 2 weeks at the most, and then we get the build for Full Gear. So
how do y'all feel about Saturday Night Dynamite 1? Let's go back to that. How do we feel about Dynamite on Saturday for like the next month, I think?
I'm glad we have DVR. One. because that's a hard sell. I mean, either way you paint it. But at the same time, I mean, it's not like they're letting off the gas. Like they're not
True.
trying to just shoehorn regular shows just to say, you know what, we know nobody's going to be watching, so whatever. They're making it you can't miss it, so you need to watch it or DVR it.
But
So yeah, I don't mind it. I don't prefer it, but we got to roll with the punches. So it is what it is. So I can't really complain. And at least they're doing stuff to give us this shit rather than just fudging shit.
True, that is true. But yeah, so I guess MJF got a count out win over Darby. So
potentially. Didn't break a sweat. But Sting wants some of the smoke, so that's why he went out there.
Yeah, Sting definitely was like, "Yo, I want that smoke, fam."
So we'll definitely see what happens with that. I definitely can't wait to see a fucking Darby and MJF match because that's a long time coming, and that could potentially. Well, no, I don't know. Full Gear is setting up to be one hell of a fucking card, but
it is.
Sure is.
That has a chance to be a fucking sleeper, and I think that's where we legitimately get MJF getting his first loss. I definitely don't think Darby loses this match.
I can see it, especially after Darby lost to Punk, so I can see it.
Yeah, because all of MJF's losses technically come from some type of shenanigan.
Well, Jericho did beat MJF too, so
he did, but I think that's still a shenanigan because he can still be like, well, I did win, and they started the match over.
True.
And they could, or we could get a time limit draw.
We'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will. But before that happened, we had Dark Order versus the Super Click.
I will say this. Once again, you knew who was going to win, but you know who I'm really happy for of anybody? You can legitimately tell Adam Cole is happy.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say he wasn't happy in NXT, but you could definitely tell he is enjoying all of this. He is enjoying himself in AEW.
And this is where I give a shout out to the fans because they're letting him know, like, yo, you made the right decision.
Yes.
And we're behind you 110% because, man, they are it's almost like a whole welcome home thing. It's like, we missed you.
But they even let him get his own entrance.
Yeah.
Like Kenny will come out with the Bucks. They're letting Cole get his entrance. They're letting Cole get his shit off.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're like, yo.
Now, this was actually a pretty solid match.
It was, but
now,
like you said.
I didn't see, how did Nick lose his shoe? Or was it Matt? No, Nick lost his shoe.
Uno took it off when he went for the super kick.
Okay.
And then he took off his sock.
Now, I saw that part when he took off the sock and did the socko.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that, but I just didn't see how he lost the shoe.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, did anybody make sure Alex Reynolds was like still alive? Because that man took multiple super kicks, a Panama Sunrise, a BTE trigger, and a boom. Did anybody make sure that man was still in the world of the living? Because shit, he took a lot of finishers.
He did, but that's a good thing too. They're still making him look strong. Like, yo, now it can go both ways. It can be like, yo, we're gonna be dicks and just do all this shit to you.
No, I take it as that. We're gonna be dicks and just hit you with everything, knowing damn well they don't take that, but we'll just prove our point that we are the super click and we run this shit.
Oh, and matter of fact, shout out to the Elite for making light of the whole powerbomb situation.
Oh yeah.
and finally giving Luchasaurus a powerbomb to the table.
Yes.
So yes, that happened earlier. But yeah, super quick goes over. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, Dark Order is going to be taking a few L's until we potentially get a new Exalted one or a new leader in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely going to see. And shout out to Anna J, gripping leather all day.
I mean,
She
always shout out to Anna J.
She also had a backstage interview, well, a brief, because I mean she was talking for a little bit, and of course Britt Baker comes out and she calls her a loser, says she's a loser by association because Dark Order are losers, and they got beat by the what'd she say? The most elite faction in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Baby.
You know what? The takeaway I took for this, I love how all that led into a title match. I just thought that was just like, okay, well, hey. And
yeah, I'm not. Well, you matter of fact, let me just double check to see this shit too.
Like I thought that was weird. That
is very weird because Anna Jay's not in the rankings.
And then boom, she gets a title shot next week.
Unless, well, no, because I mean, Ty Conti is number 2, so unless she's taking her spot, I don't know how that would make sense. But yeah, but Anna Jay does deserve a title shot. I don't. Yeah. I mean, not by the rankings perspective, but she was in line to get one before she got hurt. So maybe they're working off that logic. But I don't know. So yeah, but we got that. So we got a nice little backstage brawl between these two, as minuscule as it was. But Anna Jay did get a stiff shot on Britt Baker with that with that forearm. You heard that shit. But from 2 females to another 2, Kiera Hogan and Penelope Ford.
Shout out to CM Punk with the banter of the night. Just asking, is there any relation? Just asking, is there any relation? And then I love the way he just fed off of it in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just check it. Just making sure.
He was like the Paul Hogan, Hogan's Heroes. We got it, Punk. Good on you. I love Punk on commentary because I think that this goes back to what he had said too, is that he says he wants to be like he wants to be able to watch wrestling as a fan, but at the same time he can't sit with the fans in attendance because it's going to take away from said match. So this is the best way for him to do that, being on commentary, still being able to be on TV and being able to have his presence known, but then being able to be out there and actually watch the match from some distance that's close enough to.
That's what AEW does well, because even with Taz and Starks be on commentary, it doesn't sound out of place. You know, it sounds weird when a wrestler in WWE comes and do commentary.
Yeah,
like it sounds weird because, like, with the Sasha and Becky match, Bianca Belair was on commentary, and it felt third wheelish. It doesn't feel out of place when Jericho was doing commentary, or when Starks and Taz, well, Starks mainly because Taz does commentary, or when Starks go do commentary. It doesn't feel out of place. You know.
Yeah, they know who to put there.
You get those witty quips with Starks, like, yeah, I can definitely whoop his ass. Like, he ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't nobody. Like, but like you get good stuff like that. You know, or like somebody from Team Taz is wrestling, then yes, Taz's bias does come out. But it's not out of place with CM Punk being there, and you hear some of these things. It's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Absolutely. But this match started off very slow for me because I was almost going to write it off because I was like, I do not like the way this match is going.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't. It did start off pretty kind of like okay.
But then the second half of the match went on, and I think it was after the commercial break.
Yeah.
The second half of that match went on. I was like, oh, okay. We got a little something here. So I'm fine with this. So it worked out, and of course, this pretty much led up to the Bunny coming out, and then Ruby Soho coming out to help Kiera Hogan, and continuing on said feud. So it looks like we get some more story beats from this shit, which is awesome to keep Ruby Soho busy.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, it's good that they showcase this match on here, so we're able to see Penelope Ford on TV. Kiera Hogan finally get some more shine on the prime spotlight, so that's good. And I hope they continue this on with the women, because I love how Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb did their thing, and it just kind of carried on. And speaking of Deeb, love Deeb's promo. Love Deeb's promo.
I don't think I heard the promo.
Yes, because they were basically finally asking her about like her change in character and whatever, because she's been doing heelish tactics, even though they pretty much didn't say anything about it when she did the shit to Riho.
Yeah.
But but they finally addressed it. So what they did what she said is that she, while she was gone, she realized that there's really no point in being nice. She wants what she wants. They're over here celebrating Shida for this and thinking that this. I like basically kind of like what you said last week. Like, this is going, like, you gonna get the 50 and win off me. Like, no.
Yeah. What Punk that did make a reference to? I'm like, yeah, she looks different without the ball or without a shaved head or something like that.
Give us the straight edge society, please, something. But yeah, Shida attacked Deeb, and that kind of spawned off into another backstage brawl. And so I'm pretty sure we're gonna get this at Full Gear.
You think so?
I would hope so. I really don't want them.
That would be a good look for them to do the 50th win on
pay-per-view.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think these two work well together. And it's just Serena Deeb. It's almost like this TBS title is made for her too.
Yes, it is. But the thing is, you got in between Deeb, potentially Thunder Rosa, potentially Cargill, potentially Soho.
Well, the reason I like this, because I still see it's either going to be Cargill or Soho that wins that title. But I love the potential matchups for the TBS title, because I still look at this. I look at this as the women's workhorse title.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I see Thunder Rosa making her way towards Britt Baker, and I think this is why this tournament itself is happening at the beginning of next year, even though we have it going on TBS at that time. Yeah. This helps stretch out Britt Baker's title reign until next year, so that way once all this is done, we can basically finish the tournament and then have Thunder Rosa feud with Britt Baker to shoehorn us into probably Revolution, where Britt Baker potentially loses that title. So that helps.
Sorry, Britt.
Yeah, sorry, definitely sorry. But, all good things must come to an end, so that way they can begin again.
Ooh.
That's just off the top of the dome. It happens. But yeah. I see a lot of interchangeable feuds within the TBS title, and I think Serena Deeb fits perfectly in there.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny somebody with that much technical prowess, especially a female.
Yes.
And I think her stage presence alone, even outside the ring shit is fan-fucking-tastic. So I don't want them to do a disservice to this feud. They already gave us this match on free TV. Yes. Give us the payoff for Shida's win, her 50th win at Full Gear.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't care how long you got to stretch this out. They ain't even got to touch. You just leave it at that. Have Serena Deeb just fight a whole bunch of randoms up until that point. Yeah. Same thing with Shida. Have them fuck with each other with their matches. throughout that point in time to build up to this shit? I don't fucking know. Just do it. But we get Hangman finally fucking speaking on his own without being coerced.
I want to know one question before we truly get fully into the promo. What's the budget on cuss words in AEW?
I don't know, because there was definitely.
I think it's constantly growing, to be honest.
Like, what's the
seems
budget
like it
on cuss words in AEW? Because yeah, Hangman, hey, my guy.
If you didn't think cowboy shit was a thing before last night, you definitely left that promo knowing. You basically had a crash course in cowboy shit.
Yes, you did.
This was a very passionate promo by Hangman, and this, you know, in certain cases, you know when like a promo is going to raise somebody's stock, and if you weren't a believer in Hangman before this promo should have definitely left an impression on you, because this promo basically showed why a lot of the fans are passionately behind Hangman. Because there was no, hey, I'm going to want to take this title. I'm going to do this. The way that it was built up, especially through all the storytelling up to this point, he went through the same beats in his promo that basically stated, I started here. I told you I was going to do this and I failed you. And through all this, I lost my confidence. I didn't think that I was good enough for this, and this. I went down this road. You know, made some friends here, came in with friends. I thought things were going to be good, but things changed here. And, you know, I went away, came back and won. And now I feel for the first time, I feel like I got my confidence back. And it's because of all of you that's why. And it's like, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to go in and win and take the title, but I promise you I'm going to give you everything I have to try to make sure that happens. And of course, he went through saying, you know, you're going to get every ounce of me, every inch of me. You're going to get every blood, sweat, tear, period. It's like, and I know what he meant by that when he said, you know, whether, you know, you're going to get some type of tear one way or another. Either I'm going to cry if I lose or I'm going to cry if I win, and you're going to get it.
All the while, every sentence had cowboy shit in it.
Yeah. He said, this is cowboy shit. He's like, XYZ, that's cowboy shit. This over here, that's cowboy shit. This is cowboy shit. And
meanwhile, Tony Khan in the back, like writing the check, like, all right, 500 more.
Like, okay, so we got fined this much. All right, we got fined this much. All right, that's another one. Okay. Whew.
I think he's just tally markering it. Like, shit, how much is this check gonna be?
It's like, oh shit, I said it. Damn it.
I know. I was like, what is the budget of saying shit? Because boy, they was getting it. They got it off yesterday.
Yeah, and maybe it's because it was Saturday. They were like, you know what? It's the weekend. We can let some shit slide. Literally.
In between Jericho calling Lambert fat face dipshit, cowboy shit, we just had shit all night.
Sammy saying, I'm gonna beat the shit out of every one of you.
It was just like, what is the budget for shit?
It was a shit show.
Yeah, no. This was the shit show, but it wasn't a shit show.
Yes,
that's fair.
You know what? That should damn near be the headline you put. It was the shit show, but not a shit show.
Yeah. All right. So now I got to go back and change it because I made the thumbnail already, but I'm going to go ahead and
like
change it a little bit. I will.
Oh boy, they was letting it fly. No pun intended. They was letting it fly.
They were indeed, and that's true.
And Matt Sydal.
But the reason I like this is because this is the best way to do predictable booking.
Yes. Because
everybody knows that Page is going to win. But the thing is, they want him to, and they're 100% behind this. Like it's the best of both worlds. Because you're going to get Paige winning, but you're going to get a reaction from the fans as if they don't really believe he's going to win.
Yes.
And this is going to be a situation where this is going to be a main event, and you're not going to have any fatigue from the crowd come the main event.
No.
Because they're going to just pop for Hangman the moment that his music hits at Full Gear after the amazing show. And I'm already saying it's going to be an amazing fucking show. After the amazing show that they sit through. So
I don't see it being a bad show. Like, there might be a few matches that could happen. That might be a little whatever.
It's probably going to be a little point or two, but there's not going to be a bad show.
Nah.
Oh, wait. Holy shit. You know what? Okay, so if now, because everybody's read the fucking thing on Tony Khan's notebook,
right?
If that's the Full Gear card, this is the reason why Mox and Danielson make sense on that list.
Yeah, like I said, I can see Mox and Danielson being the two.
Well, because he had written on there Mox and Bryan.
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense. Like, if you're looking at the title tournament period, it makes sense for that to be the finals.
So yeah. And if we're going off of that, that's a card I'm behind.
All right. Well, before we get to the main event of the night, thoughts and feelings on the Cody vignette.
I actually liked it.
I liked it too, and I don't think he's still beat. I still don't think he's beaten Malachi.
He shouldn't. He really shouldn't.
No, I know he shouldn't. Like, but they're setting it up as if he's going to win.
That would not be fair to Malachi. So no, he should lose. He should 100% still catch that kick and lose.
And I think this should be like the turning point for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to do the right thing, and he's going through. He let everybody sit there and ridicule him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This should be the one. And I love it. They're doing this. Fantastic storytelling.
But turning point, but how far?
To the point to where he's like, you know what? I'm done doing things for the fans. I'm done trying to sit in there. I'm doing stuff for me. Not Hollywood, not this. It's like I'm a professional wrestler at heart. No other obligations. This is what I'm here for. So now I'm going to start being selfish. I've given enough to everybody, and I got nothing for it.
Yep.
Or I got nothing out of it.
I'm wanting him to go turning point full on. I want to see him. No, I want to see him lose. But in that, I want to see Arn try and pick him up, tell him it's all right or something. And then Arn.
He's going against the Nightmare Family himself.
Yeah, he shuts it down, and he's just like, "Nah, I don't care about the Nightmare Family anymore. I care about me."
Because if you do that, that would allow him to have all these different feuds with the Nightmare Family, which will keep him out of the title picture. And then once he's ready, then he can aim for that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So go ahead and give it to us with BD and Bobby Fish.
One, this match was fantastic. This was fantastic. But and it's to be expected by both guys. But I love the handling of Bobby Fish.
Okay.
And that's not to say that NXT handled him wrong in any way, shape, or form. It's just that I think with NXT, they put him in a box and they booked him as such. Yes. Because they put him in a box as a tag team wrestler. And once he became a single star, it kind of just fell flat because But when you think about MLW and AEW, the way he comes off out of here, it's just like it's a completely different person.
Yeah.
And he looks, as he should, like a credible threat to anybody he goes in the ring with.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that they did this match with him and Bryan Danielson, because the way they made this shit feel is that, yo, Bobby Fish can stand with anybody you put him up against. He's not boxed into here at all. He can have a good match with Lee Moriarty and then come in and be in the main event against Bryan Danielson and still hold his own and show that he could be a threat to Bryan Danielson, who everybody claims as to be one of the greats in that ring.
Yes.
Right.
And the more this match progressed, the more character that Bobby Fish continued to show, both in ring and his interactions with the fans, because he did some heel work here and there too. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it, to the point to where I want to see Bobby Fish damn near every week,
right,
on Rampage or on Dynamite, because it's one of those situations where it's like you have a key player that you can slot anywhere that really doesn't have to be in a title picture, but can give you a good ass fucking match. And I love the possibility of that, because I mean he's already had a title match with Sammy Guevara, but now that that's out the way, you can just kind of push him like you pushed Malachi Black, not as strong, but in a sense to where it's like you see him every week, you know you're going to get a good match out of it, and we can see where it progresses from there. But he doesn't look like he's going to get lost in the shuffle, and I love that. But this match, though, thank you. This is one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, well, with AEW, they care more about their roster as a whole, and they trust them to pull off good shit, and this is what you get out of it. Because and not to do the whole WWE comparison, but it's hard to, not do it in this sense, because of the fact that if you think about trying to do that in WWE, they would book this as some type of squash match in a main event of like a Raw or a SmackDown. Or there will be some type of shenanigans that tend to happen. You won't just get two guys going in there and having a pay-per-view quality match for free TV just to say, hey, fuck it, we just want to do what we love.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that anymore, and that's what sucks. So, but yeah, this match, fan-fucking-tastic. Bryan Danielson goes over. That's no surprise.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go one of two ways. We're either going to get Mox giving Danielson his first loss, or we're going to get Hangman giving Danielson his first loss. One or the other. So they're going to make it a marquee thing. It's either he's going to lose at one pay-per-view, or he's going to lose at in a title match.
Yes.
So, which and it should be the case. But this has been fantastic booking for Bryan Danielson. It's not a whole, old school TNA/Impact thing where they're just slotting, WWE refugees into like the main event picture and allowing them to just take up all the gold. They're making everybody, run the gauntlet, so to speak, and earn their keep to say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to deserve this. And Bryan Danielson understands that. He's already voiced how much he appreciates the ranking system and how he's not going to be slotted in the main event picture, so he understands that. So I know that I can trust both him and AEW to do the right thing with their stars and with their segments and promos and feuds, et cetera,
Yes.
to the benefit of the fans and not to the detriment. So, yeah. And of course, after that, we talked about the bracket already, but they did release the bracket for the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, which we've extensively talked about so far. So there's no need to reiterate that situation. So yeah, that was Rampage, Dynamite, and our thoughts and opinions on other shit going on in a nutshell. Do you guys have any lasting thoughts, impressions?
Let's see. If honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, if I really have to give a lasting thoughts impressions, I just really want to say, if you really are a wrestling fan, you should be enjoying what's happening
Mm-hmm.
on both sides, on all sides. Yeah, WWE is still doing WWE things, but don't discredit the good that's happening too.
True
But
that.
this is a great time to be a wrestling fan. That's basically my, sentiment, especially coming off of September, now going in October. Good time to be a wrestling fan.
Indeed. Indeed. Jaeger, you got any final thoughts?
To Scoot's benefit, yes, definitely a great time to be a wrestling fan. Hopefully, this competition between the two brands does not get toxic.
Yes.
There's no need to. There's definitely no need for WWE to start unreasonably infringing on other shows' showtime.
Yes.
especially when the owner of your new competition is respectfully picking time slots so they don't interfere with your time frame.
True enough.
I'm very curious to see where all this goes, though. As usual, like I just want to sit back and enjoy some good wrestling.
Yes.
I
What
second
about
that.
you, Mr. Deasley? What you got?
Oh, very simple. Wyndham Rotunda.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you mean the toxic wrestler?
That's all I'm waiting for. I am patiently waiting. Wyndham Rotunda.
Okay.
I will be smiling with glee when it happens. I don't know where, don't know when, but where and when it does, ear to ear, ear to ear.
I feel that.
But
I kind of want to see it at Full Gear.
We'll see.
I need something.
We shall see.
But Scoot, where can these mother effers find you?
You can find me with the hoodlums. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Find me with the hoodlums. And, we just doing hood rat shit with my hoodlum friends.
I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
But it's been at the bottom. The ScooterRay, IG, Twitch, TikTok. You can find me there. PlayStation with the ninjas, which they're on my face. LTSN. Right?
Yeah, buddy.
Ninja Banter, we just did a dope ass episode where all four of us were in full-fledged costume and makeup and everything. And that's been a dope ass episode. So definitely check out that Ninja Banter, the horror special. That's where you can find me. You know what I'm saying? And but the ladies though.
The ladies indeed.
And not only the fact that it's the ladies, but with it being October, the costumes though.
Oh.
The creativity though.
Oh.
There's only one person, y'all can hit up with all of that. If you need some creative help with your costumes, there's one person you can ask. And that's.
And I mean, I've been seeing some creativity amongst the social medias and the DMs. But man, TikTok is a hell of a place after 10 o'clock. That's all I'm gonna say. But if you have any creative questions, if you wanna just show off a little bit, let me know, get some opinions before you go out into your night.
Such a nice guy.
Just want to see what's up. It's just Jaeger Bombastic. IG, Twitter, Xbox. You can actually send pictures on Xbox. Isn't that funny?
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Letting
I'm all over here. just by all means, hit me up. Feel free to chat. If you're not already chatting with me, you know who you are. I'm saying a lot, mainly because I'm distracted.
He's looking at them sexy costumes, and sexy nurses, sexy detectives.
It's all running through his head.
Hey, these cosplays too, man. Oh, anyway, there it is again. But yeah, you're bombastic, and guys, don't feel too hurt if your girl's just sending me some opinion pictures. It's okay. They're doing it for you and me, but also you. So if you get too upset about it and want some spiritual lifting, like curbing the jealousy, just to let you know that it's all right. Everything will be okay. Just get that positivity from this guy right up here.
Yeah, and what a time to say that, because Daily Dose has been on hiatus for a little bit, but there's a reason, and I'm going to address those reasons when this week when it comes back. But
okay, so
Daily Dose returns this week. On top of that, Cause for Conversation returns this week on Lifestyle 1UP as well, and I will be talking about some stuff that's going to piss a lot of people off, but it's okay because you got Daily Dose to lift you up after that. But like Yeager said, you can find that shit at all your podcast listening platforms. Your Apples, your Google Podcasts, your fucking Spotify, etc., 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 etc. Google it, you'll find it, whatever. But you want to shoot the shit.
Ooh.
If you get mad at me for saying the R word, I'll be more than happy to defend my right to say that shit.
I mean,
Lip Dizzle.
I'm gonna throw
IG.
out something slightly controversial.
Twitter.
Still did nothing wrong.
Then there you go. And that's one thing I'll be talking about. But yeah, your IGs, your Twitters, your TikToks, your YouTube, all that good shit. Of course, on here with the T.A.G Squad.
Hey.
But as always, whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it with the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Mainly thumbs up though. Like mainly the thumbs up.
Oh yeah, really thumbs up. But of course, I'm not gonna hate you if you leave a thumbs down. But if you do leave a thumbs down, do me a favor. Do us a favor. Put down why you did it, so that way we can say, you know what? Hey, maybe we screwed up at one point. Maybe the reason is because we offended you. Let us know, so that way we can be objective about the situation.
Maybe it's because Lit said the R word,
Yeah, if that's the case, yeah. If I offend you, then I'll address it accordingly. But it is what it is. But leave your comments, concerns, all that good shit, opinions on the show, whatever you think is good, bad about what we said. If you think we went one way and you would go another way, address that shit too, because we want to know how you would book shit.
Yeah.
Hit that notification bell so you can get all the updates and notifications when a Yeager After Dark Elevation, a Scoot with the Scoops, Scoop with This Month in Wrestling.
It's on here somewhere.
The Tag Me In, Hot Tag, Tier List, all that shit. You want to see it. But most importantly, mother effing subscribe. But I'm going to go ahead and warm that shit up so I can give it too sweet.
What's wrong?
To my bros.
Hey.
Bada, 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 bam. But as always, I bid you all adieu. And until you hear these immaculate voices and see these handsome faces, primarily talking about Yeager.
Yeah.
Tag the fucketh out.